In my opinion, there's a lot more backing the value of Bitcoin compared to the fiat currency system. Central banks can print money for whatever reason they've deemed fit. You have no say in that. You can't vote one way or another. They don't ask your opinion if they should or not. And that directly affects the value of the money that you're being paid in. What's really cool about Ethereum is that they're introducing so many original creative ways for people to earn money. This is the easiest time to make profits in crypto. If you're just holding, you're going to see profits. I never would think that Bitcoin is going to zero. And my confidence in that comes from the deep dives that I've taken into the foundations of the creators of Bitcoin. I know a great number of people who will never sell their Bitcoin. I am one of those. And because of that, it will never go to zero because all that it takes is for one person to accept it as a form of payment. Most solid investment in crypto is Bitcoin. I am the most comfortable suggesting that. This whole concept is if this is a super cycle, then basically it's not going to follow the same trend as before, and it could just keep reaching higher highs until, and it's like more of a long-term cycle, maybe 10 years or something.
Whoa.
So
I know you're fully convinced that it won't go to zero. What do you tell people, or what do you share to people that think that Bitcoin is just algorithms, it's just programs, it's not backed by anything? How do you value Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is the hardest asset that has ever existed, ever. It has a known set supply of 21 million. There will never be more than that ever created. And it is a diminishing emission rate, basically. Every 4 years, the amount of new Bitcoins created are cut in half. Compare that to Bitcoin's often compared to gold, which is valid. You know, gold's been around for millennia, but you never know when you're going to hit another pocket of gold. When these mining companies are, distributing the gold that they have, there's a lot of gray area. But with Bitcoin, it is completely transparent. It was released in an open, the source code for Bitcoin was released in an open source way, so that if you want to take the time to learn how to analyze code, you can, and you can understand how it functions. And you can run the software yourself, which is great because it's an all-inclusive network. Basically, anyone, it's why it's called peer-to-peer and open source network. So in my opinion, there's a lot more backing the value of Bitcoin compared to the fiat currency system. Central banks can print money for whatever reason they've deemed fit. You have no say in that. You can't vote one way or another. They don't ask your opinion if they should or not. And that directly affects the value of the money that you're being paid in, that you have to transact in. So for me, Bitcoin is a shining light of how money should work, or at least the store of value should work. And that's another thing, like the narrative of Bitcoin has changed like at least 10 times since its inception. It was just, digital money. Then it was just like the criminals use Bitcoin or whatever. And then it started going into this store of value. The fact of it being a scarce asset is certainly lending itself to being a reserve asset or a store of value.
Got it. And I always tell people that when you look at Bitcoin as a store of value, it's, I think, just the same way as how people, above and beyond gold, how people define art, define a Rolex watch, that people buy it because they know that later on other people see value in it, that they could actually buy it at a higher price or almost at the same price. And in the same way, because it has scarcity, similar to a certain way if Rolex would say that we're not making any more watches right now, for sure all of the prices of Rolexes would just go up. What do you think is the biggest advantage of Bitcoin versus Ethereum? And is there a shot also at some point Ethereum could go as the same market cap as Bitcoin, or Bitcoin will be Bitcoin forever?
Ethereum it has a programming language of Solidity. It is much more flowing of ways of how transactions can work. But with that added dimension of transactions comes a lot of bugs, a lot of unknowns, a lot of things going wrong, basically. And that's what we're kind of seeing play out with Ethereum, is these updates needing to be happen, these bugs happening. Obviously, security-wise, it's not as secure as something that has like a very hard exterior, if you want to think about it like that, with compared to Bitcoin. But every time there's a bug or something happening with Ethereum, it's improved and changed, and they learn from it. It's called attack vectors, and they're really cool because they actually make it more solid over time. Again, this being an open source community, a lot of people have eyes on it, are learning from it, are sharing their experiences with each other, and it's a really cool group kind of effort. But Ethereum's got this amazing network effect happening with it. Obviously, we saw it first happen with ICOs. We're seeing it now with NFTs. And what's really cool about Ethereum is that they're introducing so many original creative ways for people to earn money. Basically, ICOs introduce how to tokenize your business. Basically, anyone can have a special coin that people can invest in and use it for certain things. And now NFTs are bringing ownership of real world items onto the blockchain. With the advent of the internet and Napster and things like this, with like music artists and photographers, even their content isn't exactly meshing with the digital form. And NFTs are really cool because they're allowing these creators to publish their works online, guaranteed ownership, and they can even dictate each time their NFT is sold, they can take a commission. So it's a really cool way to kind of bring it all together. And I can't wait to see what else is going to happen. But it's all happening on Ethereum, right? Ethereum has so many different tokens on it. I'm sure a lot of them are scams and vaporware and whatever. That's truth. But it's a really cool economy and network effect that's happening with Ethereum. So it is very different. And I think they bring both very important aspects to innovation for the cryptocurrency space. But price-wise, I don't know, because Ethereum doesn't have a limited supply. They're unlimited, but it is like Bitcoin, where they have a set, the block rewards are set. You can't just all of a sudden mine a whole bunch of Ethereum and flood the market with it. It is like a set schedule. In July, it's called the Ethereum Improvement Protocol 1559, and a bull market. And also with Bitcoin is the scalability issues, right? Transaction fees go super high. They take a long time to go through. It's a dream to use cryptocurrencies when everyone thinks Bitcoin is dead, by the way, because like it's so cheap and fast. But then when everyone and their mother is getting into it, they haven't quite figured out how to scale. And we're seeing that with Ethereum, obviously. So this Ethereum Improvement Protocol, EIP 1559, is to address that by kind of limiting how much the transaction fees can go up. Basically, it will prevent people from being able to bid up the transaction price. Right now, if you want to send a transaction on Ethereum and you want it to go so fast, you can set it to like $1 million transaction fee. But what you're doing is you're pretty much raising the overall price of transaction fees for everyone else, because everyone's trying to compete for that top spot to get their transaction through really fast, so that the fees skyrocket. Anyway, this EIP is going to limit that, but also the transaction fees that are paid are then burned. So it's taking supply away from Ethereum. So I think that's going to benefit the price massively. There's also a huge movement from the Ethereum miners who are not for this. Again, Ethereum is moving from proof of work to proof of stake, so the miners aren't going to be in the picture, for as important as they were. They're going to be a different role basically coming up. So tons of changes happening to Ethereum. I am excited for EIP 1559. Will Ethereum reach the price of Bitcoin? I don't know. It still has an unlimited supply. So for me, no, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be as valuable, or, the network effect and the things that are being built on it are just amazing. And it's really exciting to see develop.
For those who are entering right now, better go into Bitcoin, not Ethereum or other altcoins as well? Is it mainly because it's proven token slash coin out there?
Personally, my own portfolio, it's the majority is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then I dabble in other alts, very small percentages. Just like how Bitcoin is a very new unknown market, these alts are like a fractal of that. Like same thing, but on a very smaller scale. So you've seen, if you go to like coingecko.com and you look at the best performing alts the past 24 hours, there's one that's like up like 800%, 1,000%, 2,000%. It's crazy. It doesn't last long, but there's like a ton of potential in the altcoins. And it is a bull run. Like this is the easiest time to make profits in crypto. If you're just holding, you're gonna see profits. It's knowing when to take those profits is the trick. So for me, I'm most comfortable saying to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum has a lot of changes coming up, and I'm not sure how that's gonna be affecting the price. I'm kind of slightly disappointed in Ethereum's performance in this bull run, if I'm being quite honest. But there are lots of other altcoins that are also promising that could do well long term. Cardano is one, Polkadot could be one, Solana could be one. I don't know. I'm just saying there's no guarantees in crypto, but for me, that's why I stick to, if newcomers are coming in, I'm going to stick to the basics, and that's Bitcoin / Ethereum.
And what's funny is XRP had a resurgence the past few days. People are now equating XRP to their love life. The one that you don't expect is the one that comes to you, something like that. People have been expecting Ethereum, but the Ripple, the one they never expected, is the one that's pushing up. Given someone who bought Bitcoin at a low price, do you still feel the need to buy it right now, even if it's, say it corrects from 60 to 40? Would you still be interested to buy it at 40, given that you were there way below 300?
Yeah. Yeah, because I still have a cash flow coming in too, and I want to invest it well. And why not invest in the best performing asset the past decade? So definitely, how I've been preparing for this bull run is getting a solid position in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and being happy with that, and then from there playing with the altcoins, basically just seeing what's coming up, playing on the trends that are happening, whether it was DeFi last summer, NFT type platforms this coming up, because there's a lot happening. But I'm not done purchasing Bitcoin. If it goes on sale, it's gonna tempt me, for sure.
By the way, you mentioned NFTs. I'm so addicted to NBA Top Shot, either from the drop or the marketplace. It's just so interesting. The art space of NFTs, I don't understand as much because I really don't know which is something that will be very, very good later on. But NBA, it's hard to get wrong with LeBron or whoever stars that could actually get. Yeah.
For sure, there's going to be corrections in the NFT market. Absolutely, it's just like the ICO bubble. Like there's all these ICOs that came out. Most of them are crap, ended up being crap. But if you were early, or you can make some money off of it, but long term, not so much. But it's still, again, it released that idea of tokenization, and I think NFTs is going to do the same. So this is what happens every time whenever there's a new kind of disruption happening with the crypto space. It's a hype frenzy, and then it settles down, and then you see what's actually happening. So enjoy it while it's here.
Before I put this to a close, any tips or strategies that people should do right now? Especially, we are in an era where I think it's talked about more. I've seen the fact that me as a stock investor I'm putting more attention into this right now, even for my own personal portfolio, speaks volumes already that everyone's looking into this. Everyone's putting not just time and attention, but also capital into it. For people who are new, or for people not so new, but also just still weaving their way through it, what should be their approach right now?
I'm always all about the long-term perspective and the core fundamentals of why cryptocurrencies exist. I feel like the more that you realize about your current fiat system that you are participating in, whether you know about it or not, and how that affects your life, I think the more that you're aware of that, the more you're going to be motivated to learn about the crypto space. There's tons of Facebook groups out there talking about crypto. A lot of them are just shilling coins. But if you can start to cultivate a community of people who you trust, who are actually level-headed, not just trying to shill you a coin. That is great, because you can also bounce ideas off each other, see what they, because you can't research everything that's happening in the crypto space. Not one person is possible. Like, there's just way too much information, way too many new things happening. By the time you wrap your head around one, or you've mastered one, there's like 10 more that you've missed out on. Also, whatever anyone is saying, take it with a grain of salt, and always do your own research before you're investing in something. It's just going to happen over time. You're going to learn the red flags. You're going to, you're going to see who sticks around long term. You're going to see who's just there for the good time, and then they don't actually care about what they're saying to you as long as you bought their product. It's really a long-term game. So have fun with it. Don't invest anything you're willing to lose, at least initially, so it's as stress-free as possible for you. It is a new market that's blossoming, so it's not going to die when this bull market ends. It's going to keep going as it has been for the past decade. So just be excited and be happy that you're actually witnessing the beginnings of this brand new technology taking place. I think it's pretty cool.